Welcome back. We're going to do another build. We're going to do Squad Galatael. Galatael? I've got all the pieces already pulled out. I'm going to show you a few exceptions, go over them really quick. I'll take my glasses off, don't need them at the table. Let's see, Galatael, I'll get him here. He's going to have the plasma pistol and a power sword. Then we're going to have a guy with a power shield, or no, a storm shield and a power maul. Then we have two guys with heavy thunder hammers. And then we have another guy that has a power sword and a storm shield. Now on the picture they're using this, let me see, sprue, right here. They're using these bigger storm shields. I'm not going to use that on this. You can use that, and I'll let you know a few things here real quick. But you can use that if you want. That's how it is in the thing. But to me, it just doesn't seem like that's the thing. It's a bigger shield. The storm shields that come with the Vanguard veterans seem to be more something a jump infantry would use. And I just don't. I don't see it. Don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. And I have another use for these shields. So one thing is, if you choose to do that, they're using, let me make sure, they're using the left-handed maul and then the right-handed shield from this sprue right here. And all the storm shields that come in the veteran squad are left-handed, so you can't use the left-handed maul, but there is a right-handed maul on the sprue, so you have to make sure you use the right-handed maul. So I'm just going to go through here quick, just pointing out the parts that each of these guys have. That's not even neat. It doesn't snap together at all. Okay, for what is his name? Galatael? I don't know. He has the spiked head. He's got the regular power sword. The plasma pistol comes off the Veterans pack, or Vanguard's pack. He has the skull and wings on his, and he's the foot with the one leg raised and a skull on it, and he's got the Blood Angels pad. I used Dark Angels pad for this guy. This is the one with the maul. He's got the left-handed shield, what I'm using. You can use the bigger shield, you just have to use the other maul. He has the skull on his breastplate. His legs are going to be the one with the circle, and then the skull on the right leg with the wings. And where's your the maul guy? Has this one. LT threw his motorcycle up here earlier and knocked some of these around. And he has the little tiny skulls on his jump pack. The first maul guy is Ultramarine. He's got this little head with the bald head with the antenna and the targeting scope on it. You're going to have to look at the maces because these arms here are very... Oh no, Charlie. Wait a minute. This is the other arm. Okay, that goes there. These arms are very specific to the hammers and how they lay out, so you got to get the right arms. It tells you what number arms go with what number hammer on the instructions. His legs are the ones with the leather loincloth, and he has the Maltese cross with the skull on his backpack. I hope those are the right arms there. Looks like it. Okay. Said LT just came in here and threw his motorcycle and went across everything. Yay. Also, I'm using the Grey Knight Terminator shoulder pads with these underneath. One, because I want to save some of the Deathwing regular pads for some other guys and projects, and two, because they all have this like book. He's the only one that actually has a Deathwatch one, because there's not enough of these ones, but these have like a book with a dagger through it on all these, and I thought it'd be really cool, like bring this squad together. You know, this squad, that's part of the iconography. So that is something else I swapped out. He has a skull on his chest plate. I chose the little Maltese cross one. I forget who that is off the top of my head. He's got a Maltese cross on his one knee, his skull on the other. And he has got the Man, I just keep losing these upper parts of these jump packs. It's probably got knocked over here. I'll find it in a second here. And the last guy, his legs have got the Maltese cross, and then the skull with the fleur-de-lis. He's got the big eagle on there. He's got the sword that says honor, and that is from the Deathwatch sprue. That is not from the veteran sprue. In fact, you don't use very much of the veteran sprues at all making these guys out to the specs in the book. There's a lot left here. A lot left from the sprues. Thunder hammers, chain swords, heads, lightning claws, power axe, storm shields, a lot of stuff, a relic blade, all the bolt pistols, bunch of shoulder pads, all left, all extras. So that's interesting in and of itself. So wait a minute, tiny skulls, he gets tiny skull, wait a minute, I'm looking at this guy. One of them has Maltese cross, and then the other one has birdies? No, this is the other one. So he must have tiny skulls. Two Thunderhammer guys. I was a Maul guy and one Thunderhammer guy. Tiny skulls there. Got all mixed up there. Crazy. All right, so those are the parts. Pretty easy to build them, and we are going to attempt to see how well this comes out with my use of these other shoulder pads that aren't technically the right shoulder pad. So we only got the 1 foot, so that's going to be a little bit different. Make sure it glues good. These dynamic poses you have on these guys. Always like these poses. I wish you could get them. Oh, another way to tell the guy with Power Maul, his feet have those little toes molded into the armor. It's a weird look. It's like a chaplains have those mostly. But you know, it's good. I'm gonna glue down all the legs first on these. We're gonna power through these guys, and I'm going to attempt. I know some slowdown parts are going to be those hammers because I was kind of dry fitting, trying to figure out how the angles and stuff work, and that was a chore. Just getting that together. I guess I'm gonna have to hold this one a second longer. So yeah, that was not the easiest thing, and that's just dry fitting. You got glue, and you got a little bit of a time limit. That's going to be even worse. Also, before I figured out there was a right and left hand maul, I was trying the other arm out, and I was contemplating hacking things because I really did not want to use that big shield on these. I know it's what it shows in the thing, but it's just it doesn't feel right to me. That doesn't feel like the right part for me. That is not a design thing I'm going to go with. I don't mind building these squads the way they are so they can be used as those squads. I have no problem with that because I can use these squads. Even these aren't the best way to design a Deathwatch kill team, and it uses up parts and things like that. That's cool. Because for me it's a lot of fluffiness too, right? I like the fluff, and so bringing these squads, I can bring them, do a little game with them. Ain't gonna kill me. Have the right guys, and you know you can always use these guys, not as part of these squads. They're actually legitimate Deathwatch builds. So, all right, back to the first guy. I think we're gonna have to start doing a lot of the when there's halves and half parts like chests and jump pack. Probably the best way to go about this. Get all the sub-assemblies together? Yeah, I think that's the best thing. Sub-assemblies. So get the sub-assemblies going here. We'll get his 2 sub-assemblies. Definitely I'll show you when I get to the Warhammer guy. But I think I have a pretty good plan on the best way to assemble that Warhammer. Too much glue on there. This is the Power Maul guy. Let's get his chest piece done. And hopefully keep these pieces relatively separated. So yeah, I got all this last night. Sat down, cleaned it up, laid it all out, made it all pretty before the incident with Charlie. So So I could do this morning for you guys, or that's actually afternoon, because my wife had to do stuff this morning, and I had to watch Charlie. We watched Minions for what I can ascertain, as best I can ascertain, is the 3.6 millionth time. Oh, little yellow guys. But he loves that movie. He loves it. That's his jam right there, Minions. That is his jam. He likes watching this. And he's a little boy's boy. He loves cars, and there's a YouTube channel. He calls it channel. That's what he calls it. And he calls it New One. When a new video comes on, I've subscribed to it. It's called the Hydraulic Press channel. He loves that channel because it's all about smashing things. And that is his two passions: building and destroying. Those are his passions. The only reason he builds is so he may destroy. Another one of his loves is Dino Trucks from Netflix, that Netflix series. The reason he loves those is because the one set of Dino Trucks they're always building, but he likes the bad guy. He likes the bad guy. Destructs is his name, I think. Because the bad guy knocks things down. So I've got to watch him. I think I've got a potentially chaos-influenced toddler in the house. Got to watch him. Got to keep the old inquisitional eyes open on him. Could be some issues with that in the future. He is a beast. It's focus that building, and he can build, but whew, turn your back for a second, and the destructive force of all 3-year-olds comes out. Alright, so I got that basics going. Now we're getting to the good parts. I believe the best thing to do on the arms, make sure I got the right arms, to get the weapons in place. That way the angle of the weapon when you put the shoulder on is going to be set, so you don't have to worry about what way it's pointed. When it gets on, that's going to go like that, so yeah. Whoop. Oh, and they let's see, use from the Deathwatch sprue. Let me see, I believe this power sword came from the Vanguard sprue, but let me see, this power sword right here come from the Deathwatch sprue. The arms and the hammers came from the Deathwatch sprue. The maul comes from the Deathwatch sprue. This head and one of the other ones, which one? This one, the helmet with the antenna, came from the Deathwatch sprue to make them look as close as possible to the ones in the pictures online and in the book here. Those all those parts had to come from the Deathwatch sprue, not the Vanguard Veteran sprue. And there are a lot of parts left over on all of those sprues, enough to create some new and interesting peoples. Okay, so that one's good. This one, what is he carrying in this hand? The shield. That's right. So the shield's going to go like that. And we just need to put a little dab of glue there. So yeah, all the shields that come with a Vanguard are left-handed. Yeah, left-handed. And all of there's a right and left power maul, so have to use the right-handed power maul. And the shields that come with the Deathwatch, I believe, are opposite. Yeah, one's right, one's left, so depending on getting the mauls too, so depending on which side you want to put it in. Unfortunately, I wanted to do something, but you can't. Here, I'll show you real quick. If you look at the shotgun, there's two hands on it. There and there. I don't think the shotgun is a two-handed weapon. on the list. I'll have to check and make sure again. But I think I'm going to skip these two and go over here. Get this one on because it's just easy while I'm talking, at least for the second. But what I wanted to do is have a guy with the storm shield and the shotguns. Just, I know the shotguns aren't the awesomest weapon, but just as cool factor. Let's just say for the cool factor, in my mind at least. Now here's what I was thinking with the hammers. There's this hand, or this arm right here. They both have this kind of arm that has the little notch right there, like with the sword arm that we put on the other models. Oh, this way. Like that. Looks like that kind of greave covers the back of the hand. That one you need to put on first because that one kind of sets the angle of how it's being held, the piece, and that is the one that kind of, that's that first shoulder that's holding it. And so that's kind of, I believe that, I can't believe I missed this after sat there for all those hours last night cutting and trimming all this stuff. Goes to show you just, when you think you got it all, there's still a miss something. But gluing this hand on first and getting that, and then leaving that, because this hand, how it goes in there and everything kind of depends, is majorly dependent on how you have the shoulder going, where the weapon's going to lay. And so getting this hand, and this one's this way, so they're different, oh, I'm out of the thing, different things. Okay, so so get this hand on here, on both of them. Each one has one like that, and then they have a more bent arm that kind of direct connects in, like a lot of the rocket launchers and stuff do on in other kits. So I'm gonna leave that right there to remind me where out of frame is. Alright, so got that. Got that. So it looks like we're getting down to other arms and shoulders and such not. So let's start with body. Get this guy together. But yeah, I wanted to have it like a guy with a big shield, you know, up in front of him, and then the shotgun kind of over the shield. So now I'm kind of looking at it, and I am contemplating, if it's not a two-handed weapon. I mean, if it's a two-handed weapon, then I'll just go and put it as is, because, you know, it doesn't matter. You can't have the shield, and you kind of want to, it's easier to know when you portray a guy, you WYSIWYG. I kind of like WYSIWYGing as close and as much as possible, because it just makes things easier on me when I'm out on the table playing the game. I can just look at things and go, okay, that's how that's supposed to be. He's got this held down a little bit differently, but I'm going to have it up a little bit more, just because it's easier for me to get in and paint stuff when it's not so far down. I'll hold that for a second. But yeah, it makes things easier. I'm going to adjust this camera, actually. I'm going to hope I don't mess you guys. Oh, I see what the problem is. It's butting up against that. Okay, it's butting up against the cabinet behind it. I've got it a little too high. Bring this forward. There we go. I think this is pieces of view. There we go. Maybe I'll fall out of frame this direction. Oh. I'm not sure how I glued myself like that to him when there's no glue on that side, but okay. I swear. Did I put glue on that side? Maybe I did. I'm not paying attention. It's hard to this is not drawn in like that, so I'm actually going to put this kind of upwardsy. No, that's not going to go. You know what? I'm not going to attach that yet, even though I'm going to quick go and attach this backpack, because that is going to affect shoulder pads and everything, and I need to really know where this is hitting before I position that arm any further. Okay, where did I put the arm down? Right there. So glue time. I think we're going to hold it down like that, not shoulder pad, or up. across the face. I think I really picked the wrong arm for this. I thought I had the right one, but I don't. See, he's only more down to his side and back in the picture. And this is not what he's doing here. Yeah, yep. I guess the best I'm going to get is like this. Like this. I'm going to hold it down like that. Best I'm going to do. With the choices that I have now made and the glue is now setting. Do the best I can with it like that. Alright, let's go ahead and snap his head in place. Just tap that in there. Bloop. That. And shoulder pads. This one is easy because these are the right shoulder pad of the right size. And I'm not trying to cause any modification issues. Oh, that Deathwatch shoulder pad doesn't want to go. Oh my gosh, come on, don't do this to me. No, jeez. Crazy, had to squish that in. A little bit of extra height in the Deathwatch shoulder pads because of that rim. Okay. Twist it more down. I think, yeah, that's good. Okay, got him assembled. I'm only like 89% happy with that. I'm going to move him back a bit. Apparently I'm hitting it with my hands. Is it raining? Oh, Lord. It's been like 90, 98 here. Just super hot, but super muggy. And what's been going on is like, and it happened 3 or 4 times a day, but it will rain. I mean, just flat out, just pouring rain. And the issue is that it's still super hot after it rains. It rains for, let's say, 10-15 minutes, right? And anybody who's like been in an area like Florida or one of the, you know, really muggy area and it rains, it's super hot and muggy and it rains, and then it's like a crab boil. You feel like you're being boiled alive, right? Well, what's been happening is that it'll rain and it's so super muggy. And you can see the rain re-evaporating up into the sky, and that's what it's doing. It'll rain, evaporate, and then 2-3 hours later, the moisture level in the air will reach critical again, and then it'll rain again. And so it's raining 3-4 times a day like that, and it's just brutal. Absolutely, the heat is brutal outside. Can't mow the lawn because every time I attempt to, it rains. And anyone who knows anything about lawnmowers, they don't like to mow wet grass. So the grass is about getting higher than it needs to be. So I'm hoping for some days of dry. Just if I can get one day of dry, it's like dry all day. And I'm trucking out there last couple hours of daylight and mowing the grass. That'll be enough time for it to be as dry as it can be. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I'm going to glue the regular shoulder pad on first before I do anything else. And while that's getting a little bit drier, I'm going to go ahead and plop down his head in here. He's kind of looking off to the side, isn't he? Like this. Yeah, that's good. And just look at this, because this has some adjustment up and down. I think we're going to put the shoulder pad on, and then this might be able to be glued higher or lower depending on what we need. Okay, then what I'm going to do is put glue on this regular shoulder pad. It's now bulked up his shoulder, and I am going to throw this Terminator pad over the top of it. Okay. And I'll show you. That's what it's going to look like. Get as many angles in here for you as possible. See? Does not look bad, does it? Looks good. Looks good. So there you go. You can reuse the Terminator pads, or use the Terminator pads on regular guys by doing that. And we'll put a little glue here, because I do have adjustment on this pack. Oh, it just barely clears the that ridge on these Deathwatch pads. Just barely. They were like actual, this was actual armor you were wearing out in the field, there would be a scuff mark up under that jet, right under this side of the jetpack. There'd be scuff. The paint would always be scuffed, and you'd be scraping it all the time and bumping it. Just tried to lift your arm too high, all the time. It was a real reality thing. That would be the thing. They'd be coming back to the tech priests about, this dang thing is always rubbing. Okay, oh, we're doing a Thunder Hammer one, a heavy Thunder Hammer one. I was looking at the heavy Thunder Hammer, and I was like, is this really worth it as a option? And I guess in a way, if you look at it, because it's the regular Thunder Hammer is strength times 2, which for a regular Marine is strength 8, and then it has the special rules concussive and all that stuff. What the heavy Thunder Hammer does is it's strength 10, so it's a lot more penetrating powerful. Plus it has the pulverize, which basically is if you hit on a 6, it's instant death. So I don't know. I don't really know if you need the pulverize, I guess, for something really nasty, because strength 10 is instant death for a lot of stuff already. So adding another layer of oh yeah, this is instant death. It's kind of... Okay, so here's what I was trying to get across, if poorly. I feel like it's better to get this one arm on, and then that way you can adjust the other one where it needs to be. Let's see if I can get that to just oh, come on, you should just barely hold. Doesn't take that long to dry super glue. Unless you're on my fingers, then you pretty much dry instantly on my fingers. Is what it does. Probably the same for everybody, but that's what it does to me. Alright, just want you to kind of dry a little bit so I can check. Yeah, and then you put this one here and set the... You know what, I'm just going to go it's not working out that way because it doesn't want to. So I'm going to glue the other hand in, and then I'll have to do it that way. I thought it might work better this way, but yeah, that's why you do this. Test it out. Trial and error. And that's not going to work, I can see. Well, that's how it's in the body, isn't it? That's how it actually fits in that hole correctly. So, it seems like that needs to work that way, right? Is the body going to fit in there? Yes, it will. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to actually go ahead and get this hand on here too and let those both dry, because we're going to have to do some push fit across the body. So we're going to move on as soon as we get this dry. So ignore what I said earlier, just put both hands on. Make sure they're in the correct angle. The way the knob fits into the slot, it kind of, it kind of sort of fits in a lot of ways, but it definitely slides in nice, tight, and comfortable, and you'll feel it. You can feel it only a certain way. So that'll help you get it in the right way. Okay, so we're going to put this Storm Shield Power Sword guy together. Kind of what I like about this squad, and what I'm going to design in my own squad, or one of my squads that I want to design, is kind of the ability to handle different situations that these guys have kind of built into their squad. It's like you've got guys with who are a little bit slower to hit, but they have heavier weapons, and the guys that have faster hit weapons that maybe aren't as strong, penetrating armor or stuff like that, but they strike earlier and give you a little bit of early damage and stuff like that. And so there's a mix. So that's why I was liking the shotguns, because I want to put what's a squad? I want to do a black shield, and the black shield's weapon skill is better, so I want to give him some kind of melee weapon, and I'm not 100% decided on what melee weapon to give him. But you can also give him a storm shield, so I thought maybe that would be interesting. Give him the storm shield, give him that extra protection, use him as your melee guy, and then have 2 shotgun dudes for kind of that assault thing, because the shotguns have basically a flamer template for one of their ammunition choices. And then go with some kind of shooty guy to round out the 5 veterans in that squad. Give them some kind of just maybe standard bolter dude, a little bit cheaper, but he provides the, you know, rapid fire, which would be cool. Rapid fire bolter going in. And so round out that squad. This is a beaky guy. I know some people don't like beaky helmets. I love beaky helmets. I would save this beaky head for a whole beaky head squad if it wasn't on the picture and it wasn't that important. It was more important, you know. It's not that important to me to save the beaky head. It is that important to save the larger shield, both because it doesn't feel right on that guy, and because I really do want to use it with something else. So maybe even a Terminator model, because it just feels, it doesn't just feel that bigger shield, it just feels Terminator-y. Not these little small shields. I mean, like this Terminator got this little small shield, right? That's kind of, yeah. But then the Sergeant one that come with old Terminators, now that feels like a shield, right? So those are some of the first models I painted. That's why they're kind of scrubby. But you know, I did my best back in the day, so I'm getting better, but I'm not much better. But you know what? You don't have to be an awesome painting superstar. You don't have to be Bob Ross. You know, even Bob Ross says you don't have to be Bob Ross to paint. You know, get out and do it. So do the best you can, and it will turn out just fine. So I'm going to glue this pad to there. Hold it for just a minute. Sorry if you hear some random noise in the background. Boys just came home from school. I can check the computer. Yep, they just came home from school, so that is them out there. So they, even though instructed that there may be recording during the day, now that they're in school, so that I don't have to stay up till 3 a.m. recording, they're still, you know, getting used to that idea. And they're teenagers, and you know how it goes. Alright, yes, this arm didn't glue on as much. I guess there wasn't as much surface contact as I had thought there was. There, that's better. Yeah, that's grabbing. Wow, he's looking nice. I kind of like him. I kind of like the way this one looks. What do you think? He's looking nice. Gotta remember to flip this video around when I do it. I gotta get me a small tripod that I can sit off to the side. That's my next goal. Well, it's in the goal list because there's several things I'd like to have next, like a bunch of new Deathwatch stuff. But you know, some of the biggest things is a microphone that actually will connect to my GoPro, because the microphone that's in it isn't the greatest, and if I use the tablet to control it, which I can do, I have that all set up to do, it interferes with the microphone that's on board, and it causes this really low-pitched whine that you can hear in the soundtrack, and you can't get rid of. So that's a negative. All right, that guy's good. I'm gonna have to come up for a naming scheme for my Inquisition. You know, I name all my guys, and they all have a reason. For instance, my regular Crimson Axes are named after Roman names, many of them generals. My Imperial Guard army, those guys are named after people who saved, Medal of Honor winners. And if I ever expand them, it'll be Victoria Cross, or, you know, and basically heroes of all nations. Highest honor, highest medal honor winning guys, basically. And my Inquisition forces are named after people who helped rescue Jews from concentration camps, or even going to concentration camps during World War II. My Scutari, which I really need to work on, but Deathwatch has kind of derailed that for a while, are named basically either technology, or the newest ones will be named 5-digit binary numbers. So always a little theme. So I don't know what Deathwatch should do though. His arms are not quite 100%. I'm actually going to have to put a squeeze to get these two attached, which means there's going to always be the pressure for them to want to pop loose, which I find unfortunate. But it is what it is. So hopefully after a second this will hold. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions of what we should do with the Deathwatch, should they go with the Inquisitions? Should they have their own kind of theme? Any suggestions for a theme for naming them? I need names, because I'll tell you here, guys, unpainted, unnamed miniatures die 80% faster on the field than painted named ones. This is true. You should test it for yourself. It's always the painted named ones that survive. Sergeant Rock is a testimony to that. Just one arm, man. There, I'm gonna squeeze like heck to get that on there, and that shoulder pad's gonna have to cover the rest. This guy right here, Sergeant Rock, he was, when I first had it, didn't have Terminators, he was a regular sergeant in one of my attack squads. Then when I got Terminators, painted over that name, renamed the other guy, and named this Terminator Sergeant Rock. And I'm thinking of painting over that and promoting him to Deathwatch. So, but his history is, one time I was playing a guy with a game. It was a points objective game against Eldar. I had just a couple of attack squads and my Terminators, nothing fancy. It was Eldar craziness, right? Well, he had destroyed, it was turn 4, I think. He had destroyed everything except Sergeant Rock. He was the last thing he had left, in the middle of the battlefield, out of cover by himself. But I was ahead by 2 points. So he just surrounded Sergeant Rock with everything he had and shot at it. And Sergeant Rock wasn't in combat with anybody. He was just out there. And Sergeant Rock survived. And I'm talking full, out of a 1,500-pound Eldar army, I had only killed 200 points. So 1,200 points of Eldar shooting at this guy. He survived. So turn 5 rolls around, and Sergeant Rock tries to get close to someone, but can't get into close combat, so he's still out there by himself. Another full round of fire from the Eldar, and he survived. So we roll, and the game ends. So we're like, well, what if it went to turn 6? So we just roll the dice to see what happens. Sergeant Rock survives turn 6. Again. So we're like, well, what if it went to turn 7? Sergeant Rock dies to the very last shot, the very last wound on turn 7. That's true. That's what happened. That's Sergeant Rock. He survived. He's bad. So Sergeant Rock has a very, very, very good place in my army. This does not seem to be wanting to glue this arm. I don't tell if it's a glue or what. So I tell you what, I am going to hold him for a while, cut out the video for a second, and be right back when he is glued up so we can move on. Hey, I'm back. That took a while, and I have super glue all over my fingerprints. So down 2 fingers for unlocking my phone. Still got 2 left. I just need to put all my fingerprints in. Saw a commercial one time. A guy put his toe in so his girlfriend couldn't get into it or something. Maybe I need to do that. Not so my wife can't get into it, but so that I have at least some more working digits that will unlock my phone if I need to. Alright, putting this guy's head in. He was easier than him. The issue with him is the arm that came with him. I don't know if this was a mold issue or if it was as intended. It was hollow. And because of the way the arms were, there wasn't as much area for that to be able to grab on to the other side of the glue joint. So that was what was creating the issue there of it not wanting to hold. It was barely holding on, and there was some force, so I kind of gently bent things and adjusted and filled the gap. Mind the gap, as the English say. And hopefully that'll fix things there. He seems to be coming along though. Alright. So we get this other reclaimed Deathwatch like pad. On here, is that going to hold? Am I touching? I am not touching anywhere that there's glue. So let's get glue in more places. Because yeah, I'd be holding that there for a long time before that glued anything. Oh, there it goes. That's definitely gluing now. Okay, gluing it, holding it. It's funny. I was watching Arch Warhammer's Dawn of 3 take on, what is it, Luton 09's interview with Phil Boyle, the part 2, and it paused it because he was glued, and I was like, I start a video again. His face looks so funny. I guess that's Phil Boyle, the guy, one of the game designer people. I don't know about Dawn of War 3. Here good, here bad. I don't know what kind of game they're trying to make. Don't know if it's going to be really the same as the others. Going a different direction with it. Sometimes these days it seems like they're going for the cash grabs. Ghostbusters and all these other reboots of stuff. RoboCop reboot. This just it seems like there's not even a fresh line of dialogue in Hollywood, let alone a fresh and complete idea. Oh, his head was going the wrong way. I'm glad it wasn't quite dry yet, because his head was funky. That's good. He's good. So now we just got to do this guy. And it's just about the shoulder pads. Definitely want to do those first because the jump pack can interfere with those, placement of those, and we do not want issues. So I think these outer edges are mostly where you get the most connection with that Terminator pad over these plain Jane pads on the side. So yep, it does seem to be where it is the most connection, so we get some gluing. Just gonna hold that a second, just long enough to go. Yeah, I know most people, or more of the accomplished guys, will assemble certain parts and then do painting, and but for a lot of these it's gonna be a while for me to get it painted. I'll slowly get it done, but I still want to enjoy the minis and have them on the field, and so it's more important for me to have them put together and ready to go. And yes, that means that certain areas will not be as awesome as they could be, but they're not going to be as awesome as they could be with me painting it anyway, right? Because I'm not a professional. I'm never going to put these up on eBay. Well, I'm never going to put them on eBay, but if I ever was for some weirdo reason, I'm never going to put them up on eBay and say, pro painted. No, that's not what they are. Not even close to pro paint, right? They're just bro painted. How about that? Bro painted. Is that not? That's not what. I keep forgetting how long I have that. I don't know if you guys have that issue, but if I leave super glue bottle open, it doesn't like to glue. I don't understand it. Some kind of interaction with air, but then if I shake it all up, it's fine. I don't know. Alright, so let's go over squad. I really don't know how to pronounce this name. Galatael? Galatael? I'm going to go with Galatael. Here is Sergeant or Brother He's a brother. Whoop, this way. Brother Galatael. He has plasma pistol. Not exactly like in the picture. So I'm about 89% happy with how he came out. Like this guy. Got the smaller shield and the maul. That feels more right than that giant shield would have. I feel like this is better than the giant shield would have been. I really do. This feels more right. That one does. Here's the guy with the power sword. He's got the power sword going on, the smaller shield. This seems like a standard event, except for a shoulder pad, you know, standard Vanguard guy. And then the two heavy hitters. And you can use these in a couple of Deathwatch formations that just require you have two of these heavy hammers or regular thunder hammers. So those will work for those or this formation. And then the final guy is right there, looking good. As you can see, all the Deathwatch shoulder pads just look fine. I mean, really just look like double layered up in there, which is fine. Absolutely fine. I have no problems with it. Looks good to me. I'm going to get it all painted. So yeah, recovered some Deathwatch shoulder pads, which leaves me all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 Terminator ones I can use for Termies, or I can recycle. Plus I have 5 Deathwatchy looking shoulder pads still on the Terminator thing, and I have a bunch of these regular Blase Terminator pads, so I can actually make Terminators. I can make 4 Terminators, I think, maybe 5, but I don't have bodies for 5, so 4 Deathwatch Terminator type dudes. So that is cool. We've used so far. I've used a little icon here. I'll show you some things I did. On this guy right here, the Watchmaster, I put that little Inquisition icon up there from the sprue. That made him a little better, right? This view screen is weird. The angle is hard for me to figure out what the angle is. There it is. That's a better view. And then when I was digging through my bit box, when I was dealing with the shield's on the wrong hand and didn't realize the maul was different, I found a little piece that I'd cut off one of these Liberators, the main Liberator, his little headdress thing that he had. And I had thrown it in the bit box, so I was like, maybe I could use that, and look what it turned out with. Look at that. Is that the coolest? That is the coolest thing. Looks like flames. It is so cool. Just licking out there. And you can see it's like seamlessly melded in there. All I had to do is clean up the front of that flamer, make it nice and flat from the sprue marks, and boom. Awesome. He turned out awesome. Alright, that's it for these guys. I think one more video will be the main guy. What is his name? Artemis? It's Watch Force Artemis, so he must be Artemis. So Watch Captain, I guess he is. Watch Captain Artemis will be the last one. He'll be a quick 5-minute video just putting them together. Alright guys, it's got an interesting backpack. I like that. It's got a little flamethrower bottle. Yeah, that was one thing. If you look in the rules for him, his combi flamer isn't one shot. Nope. It apparently, as best I can tell, is I can combi flame you whenever I need to kind of thing. As many times as I can by the rules crazy. So that is interesting. Very interesting. Alright guys, let me get back into that spiel. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up. Comment in the comment section down below. I answer those or respond to those as soon as I can. And do the best I can to do that. If you like this channel, subscribe to it please. And then share my videos around. I would love to have that happen. It really helps when people share them. And I guess that's all I have to say this time. So I will talk to you later.